Thought I forgot. Thought I forgot. Thought I forgot. Thought I forgot. Thought I remembered. I remember. My bad, I forgot. Finna take the blame on this one, bro, on front. Forgot my twin wizard teeth for the whole month. Ain't even remember homie name when he passed me the blunt. Wonder who are you on the brain from, but I play it out like brain suspecting. I've been feeling bad, bro. Inside type of sad, bro. Like this is the closest thing to a brother I ever had, bro. And I still ain't remember the time we had, bro. McDonald's trip, I admit, sounded rad, bro. You were counting on it, I'm nodding back, bro. But still ain't remember your name. Or you robbing me, then blocking me on main. Dropping the diss track on the same day of my birthday. Worst day of my life until I forgot, bro. Had it written on notes app when it happened, I ain't remember a damn thing. My head hurt thinking about it, electric shock to my nose ring. Me and you watching Lord of the Ring, but I forgot the plot by Return of the King. My bad, bro. Assure you I'm not a troll, but can't recall what I said, cause I forgot, bro. Had another line after that one, but I forgot to write it down before I forgot, bro. My bad, I forgot, bro. My bad. My bad, I forgot, bro. My bad. My bad, I forgot, bro. My bad. Thought I remembered, I forgot. My bad, I forgot, bro. My bad. My bad, I forgot, bro. My bad. My bad, I forgot, bro. My bad. Thought I remembered, I forgot. You a winner, flaming Cheeto watcher. FanDuel Casino branded on your crotch. Your grill shine bright, North Starter. Cheeto bag open, but you ain't bite her. Said you only like the Doré Diter. Bedtime, we talk all nighter. If I had a phone call, you know I'd be twisting in between my fingers tighter. We gossiping and dropping tea on the scene, whispering quiet. Next day we at Mickey D's. Trespass with threatened arrest, cause we start a rap battle with a guest. I ain't remember the rest, but that ain't as worse as it gets. Forgot we met so much, I had my bad tatted on my chest. My bad, I forgot it, bro. My bad, I forgot it, bro. My bad, I forgot it, bro. Thought I remembered, I forgot it, My bad, I forgot it, bro. My bad, I forgot it, bro. My bad, I forgot it, bro. Thought I remembered, I forgot it. Peter Pan, drowning denim when I dance. JC Penney gave me credit. Akimbo Levi Wallace for the bands. Whole hood call me Genie, skirting through with the meaning. Wrangler branded on the back and border seam stitched pretty. Peter Pan, denim cozy holster around the Henny. Peter Pan, give your bitch a pair on too many, way too many. Asking for a bag just to be petty, she ain't get it. 3 hours at the mirror, don't you ever call me careless. Roller skating right through your hood, your whole crew feel embarrassed. Trench coat tucked into the George, Newport scarf up to my mouth. Socks and sandals on the court, be cringing, bet your booty pout. They say styler, you be wildin', they say styler, let me dress you. Whoa. Little bitch styler ain't the time in this day to impress you. Whoa. Styler busy wearing two tops, he caught Marshall to distress you. God bless you. Glitter T got you sneezing, you a mess, but whoa. Styler fitted fresh to where I'm snugly all up in it. Tastic glasses, Swarovski lenses tinted, unintended. Banana coat expensive, but my drip demanded. Had implanted, can't afford it, so I had to rent it. Credit in it. Peep the hat, I bought it fresh off clearance for appearance. Tip it for your bitches, find it mad endearing. They adoring. Later in the evening, clapping booties, fiending. They told me put the pants down on, baby, cause I need them. Peter Pan's, drowning denim when I dance. JC Penney gave me credit. Akimbo Levi Wallace for the bands. Whole hood call me Genie, skirting through with the mini. Wrangler branded on the back and border seam stitched pretty. Peter Pan's, denim cozy holster around the Henny. Peter Pan's, give your bitch a pair on too many, way too many. Asking for a badges to be petty, she ain't get it.
Shawty come and do what I'm doing. Yo, shawty come and do what I'm doing. Yo, shawty come and do what I'm doing. Yo, shawty come and do what I'm doing. Shawty call me Dookie when I'm duking. Pants down. Count splashes when I'm shooting. Fiber optic with my coal and Lincoln logs. My booty puking. Pants down. Your bitch be all like, ew. Flood the room. Clearly be she hear it too. Road trip and call me Brad. How often I'ma have to pit stop? Drippy drop. Bands off with a twist. Yellow diamonds like Orion on my wrist. Couple minute piss. I dish you through the jet stream. I ain't even miss. Catching strays up in a mess. Touching on your bitches, piping winches. That's the gist of it. Guarding on hoes, I flush on ops. Hands free. Was it me who is Donham? Was it holla? All my alibis memorized. Rocking your baby type of lullaby. Low key, I be robbing on diabetes, no lie. Did the piss bust on me, bruh? Well, I guess it depends. Pay my mom rent on the bag of extra absorbent promo for men. Rest of the band spin. 3-star bathroom in my crib, bro, with the urinal and public soap scent. Me and my crew call a doodle, squatted up, pants down. My other homie on the lookout at the urinal, pants down. My ops ran in the room, leave him shook and feeling like his pants down. Open the door with my pants down. Eye to eye with your mans now. Wiping up on the op and then flushing with the water rushing in. High fiving on the homies, they flushing. I'm blushing bad because they pants down. No homo on the handout. I put my pants up on defense now. Pants up, I mean, pants up. I mean, pants up, 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 pants up. My cousin on water, I'm shining. My ass is all clear, liquid, leave my pussy blinded. Natural acid, footy, know it's on round one. Coming out west, I make a wish on me, on my soul, you pining. Down, no. I be doking at the rest time. Hiroshima, my Nagasaki, oh God. And my mama the gas at 10 to straight attack me. All like, no, never ever come back at me. And hands down. I left a bad review, week or two. He was pocket, you know I'm back. Be with the pants down. With the pants down.
Whoa! Hello. How's it going? Welcome. Can you hear me? Welcome. Is the transmission coming through clear? Welcome. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to my Twitch channel. Hello. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for dialing in the URL and coming in. It's a pleasure to have you. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're well. I hope you've had a good week. I hope your January is going well. I am here to stream. I made quite a discovery before starting up here. I discovered. So I went on to fanfiction.net and I was trying to find some stuff to peek through here because I think we're gonna do a little bit of reading today. Among other things, I've been in the mood to read some fan fiction and some books. So let me tell you about this, okay? So, me and my wife have been hitting up some thrift stores recently because we've been coming across a whole bunch of books that people have been just dumping, and they must be from like somebody must be just dumping like their entire collection because I found an entire group of programming books, like old ones, like from I'd say probably the early 90s to the early 2000s, like a whole like one leads into the other type of collection. So we keep going back. My wife keeps finding all these books on like these old cooking books. Like we found like a Chinese book or a book of like Chinese recipes, like Chinese food from the 70s with pictures and in wonderful Technicolor. It's great. But that's been our thing recently, and we've just been like peeking through the books. We've been trying to find things that are practical. I've been trying to find a lot of like old hardcover books, especially ones that I've either read or I've been wanting to read, but it hasn't been very fruitful lately. But I think that my next pursuit will be trying to find very strange books I've never heard of, or perhaps self-published books that I could read on stream, because I came across a book called Warlord Metal. And the way that this is bound, it looks like something that was done on Amazon, and it couldn't have been because this predates Amazon's book service as far as like their self-publishing deal. This is from like 2000, but it's about as bare bones as you can get. I did look into the author. Her name is D. Jordan Redhawk. So at first when I saw this name, I'm like, okay, so this is probably like some Native American type book. So I was expecting that. I did not look inside of the book. I did not research this or anything. The most that I did was read the back. But I was just assuming just by the author that this is going to be like some like Native American drama or something. But then I'm like, Warlord Metal. Like, what is this about? So let me read the back of this for you, okay? Apparently, like, she's put out quite a few books, but I really wasn't expecting the pivot that it would take. She's apparently very much into lesbian romance, which I wasn't expecting, just like judging from this. It's about the most like generic book cover you could find, just like a guitar, and it just says Warlord Metal. But let me read the back for you, okay? D. Jordan Redhawk, author of the popular novel Teopa Ki Lakota. So that immediately I was like, okay, this has to be like some Native American novel. I was hoping like Native American fantasy or like Native American young adult novel. That was just the first thing that entered my head. But sets her sights on the world of rock music and Warlord Metal. The heavy metal band Warlord, which I think there's already a band called Warlord. I think it might be a black metal band, but I'm not 100% sure on that, is in need of a new guitarist. Only one applicant stands out, a jewel in the very rough, Torrin Smith. Never heard the name Torrin before. She has the ability to make her guitar sing her soul, a sinister and shattered cry. Sonny Middlestead, little sister. Sonny is a little sister? You name your little sister Sonny? Little sister to a member of the band, is making her way through high school in accelerated learning classes. Her days are filled with education, her nights with rock and roll. An aspiring journalist, she spends a good deal of her free time writing in her diary. An aspiring journalist writing in her diary. She's just writing news articles in her diary. She's writing The Onion articles in her diary, and only she reads it. The two meet, dark and light, anger and love, with both disastrous and remarkable potential. Will Torrin be swept away by her substance abuse? Well, I wasn't expecting that. Unable to release her fury or accept the brightness of another's heart? Can Sonny find a way to heal a broken childhood to make up for a lifetime of injustice and hate? Only time will tell. And honestly, I'm very intrigued. You know, that's a very good hook for me to get into that. So naturally, I bought it. And I put it aside. I'm like, I'm gonna have to find a time to read this. But I thought it would be fun on stream because I don't have any personal inclination to read this on my own free time. I think it's best whenever you find like a goofy book or something that's very strange to share it with other people. And yesterday, a while back, I had bought. Tyra Banks had ghostwritten a book called Model Land, which is probably the most inane thing I've ever seen. And I bought it. I think I got it for like $0.01 on Amazon, and I just put it on my bookshelf, and I just forgot about it. But yesterday I was rummaging through. I was like, I want to read to my wife, and I was going to read something else, but then I asked her if she wanted like something funny or something actually good. She's like, no, read something funny. I'm like, all right. So we had that, and we had Empress Teresa, which is like an extremely well-known bad book, but she chose Model Land. And let me tell you something, okay? This is the most batshit. I read one chapter of this. I read the preface, and I read one chapter of this. This is the most batshit insane thing already. And every review that I've come across on Goodreads pretty much mirrors that to a T. You can hear Tyra Banks's head creating this in real time, from the terminology to the completely excessive descriptions of how awful people look. It's just a diamond in the rough as far as that. Maybe I should read that on stream sometime, but it is like 500 pages, which makes no sense whatsoever, and it is a slog. The first chapter I think was between 10 and 20 pages. It felt like triple that, if not quadruple that. It took forever to get through because it was just so inane. I won't spoil the preface or anything. If you're interested in that, take a peek at it. I think it's still probably really cheap on Amazon. But everybody just talks about how insane it is because it doesn't make any sense. The book starts off and there's like this girl who's like lying in the hallway of a school, and everybody comes out of class and they don't notice her. That's like her trope. She's the girl that's not noticed, and she's lying on the floor of her school, and people are rushing by her and they don't notice this girl lying on the floor this entire time. It's quite wild. She makes up like all her own terminology too. It's essentially like Tyra Banks tried to make a model or fashion centric Harry Potter universe. It's inane. It's absolutely nuts. But that was what got me wanting to read this on stream, because I'm like, you know what? I should get back to reading in general, to testing my voice. I don't have that many opportunities anymore to do that. I don't stream as much as I used to. So, but there's that. Okay, so we have that book on the itinerary here. But also, I started to take a dip into fan fiction, try to find some things that might be interesting. So I go on fanfiction.net, and let me just show you this, because you would. It's better to just see it for yourself. Okay. So I'm poking through this. These are all like the top quantity of fan fiction properties, and then I see this. Do you see this? Can you see that on stream? There's apparently fan fiction for the Bible, and I did not even consider that you can write fan fiction for the Bible, but it is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's the 28th top fan fiction subject, the Bible. So are people, automatically I'm just like, okay, are people like writing like their own books to the Bible? Oh my God. Okay, so let's. I haven't looked at any of these because I was just like, no, we have to look at this together. Jesus wakes up with a cold one morning, and his disciples take care of him during the time of his ailment. During Passover week and 40 days after, Matthias must wrestle with his old friend Yehuda's anger, doubt, and choices while confronting his own inner struggles against his place in the Rabbi Yeshua's plan. An Easter story in 3 chapters. So, is this just based on the Bible? Like, does this mean these are just religious fan fictions, or are they trying to create like their own headcanon for the Bible? The name of the world. Hold on. Spreading the word of God through the apps? What on earth does that mean? What the hell is this? No, this is just the Bible. Is this just so people can read the Bible on fanfiction? The orphan girl and the devil. Satan tries to break an orphan girl, but instead she says something that breaks him in the best way possible. I don't think that you should capitalize him when referring to Satan. That's no good, man. Oh man, okay. Hold on, this is a short one. So let's just see what we're getting into here, because I want to see like what the context is behind creating your own Bible fan fiction. Okay, disclaimer: I don't own the copyrights to the Bible. This story is from the devil's point of view, based on Marie S. Zachary poem "I Have an Abba in Heaven." I don't think anybody has does anybody have the copyright for the Bible or the character of the devil? That's a very, very funny disclaimer. Okay. It all started with an orphan girl. Now, I like to think of this as like, this is, you're skimming through the Bible. Maybe you're like 3/4 of the way here, okay? And it's his own book, and it starts, it all started with an orphan girl. She was smiling and laughing, being me. I decided to start some trouble. I figured she would be an easy target. Her parents were dead, and she hadn't been adopted yet. How can you be happy, the devil asked this little girl. You're an orphan. The girl laughed. You're wrong, she said. I'm not an orphan. You see, my mother and father are alive in heaven, and so is my Abba. Okay, she was going to be a tough nut to crack, but I didn't give up quite so easily. I started with the easiest trick in the book. What if your parents are in hell? The devil asked. There is no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus, the girl shot back. My parents were believers. I stared at her. She was way too cheerful. I had to break her. But then she said something that broke me. Wow, so just the premise the premise of like the little blurb before this is in the actual fan fiction. God loves all of his creations, she said. Devil laughed evilly. But I thought this was from the devil's perspective. Why are we now in third person perspective? He loves all his creations? Bulldogs, he said. He doesn't love me. God does love you, the girl insisted. Bulldogs, the devil repeated. Yeah, watch your language, devil, Jesus. If he loves me, why does he plan to throw me in the abyss of hell? I thought she couldn't answer the question. She didn't even hesitate, though. Have you asked for his mercy? Have you asked for his forgiveness? No. The truth is that I hadn't. I found joy in hurting others, especially those who are near and dear to God. But what could it hurt me to ask for his mercy? I don't have it now. I left the orphanage and started back to hell. But then I decided to turn to a place I hadn't been in a long time. Satan, God said, as he saw his enemy come to his name, to his home. What are you doing here? You know everything, the devil said. Shouldn't you know what I'm doing here? I'm not here as Satan. I'm actually here as Lucifer. God didn't seem surprised. He just nodded his head. Go on, he said. Wife's laughing.
This is so blasphemous. Oh my god.
Isn't this... But how... I don't even. Go on, he said. Well, I know what you were probably going to say, but just in case, I will ask you anyway. God raised his eyebrow. Years ago, the devil began, there was one who prayed for me. I thought it was a joke, but if you have it in you to forgive me, to give me grace and mercy, son, God said, you speak honestly and from the soul. I believe you have truly repented. I accept you. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I know I would have to amend for the evil I had done. It would take more than a few Hail Marys and Our Fathers, but for the first time since I can remember, I feel free. Damn, he forgave the devil just like that. That's sick. What does Princess Do-Gooder... What else does she make? Oh man, author has written 92 stories for Nanny, Boy Meets World, King of Queens, Touched by an Angel. Okay, that makes sense. Young Sheldon, Fiddler on the Roof. Holy Christ. Not only Full House, but Fuller House. That is a load of bulldogs. I can't believe that. This is crazy, man. Frasier? Frasier? That's quite a jump to go from Frasier and Lion King to just straight up making fan fiction for the Bible. Back to the Future? No, Back in Time. Never mind. I Love Lucy? Okay. Alright, hold on a second. Can we sift this, like... according to what it is? All right, Les Miserables. Jesus Christ. I really need to see the Boy Meets World fan fiction. Peter Pan, Mary Poppins. How do you make fan fiction for Fiddler on the Roof? Isn't it just a self-contained story? Oh, Boy Meets World. The kids throw a party for Feeny. What the hell? I need somebody who's so deranged they for some reason they put a gun into the story. Corey comforts Mr. Feeney after he sees him visiting his wife's grave. Wasn't Mr. Feeney never married? Or did he have a wife?
He married when they were in college. He married that other professor. That's his real life in real life.
In the show, right?
Yep.
But not when he was younger. Was he a bachelor all his life?
I don't think he was ever married.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I've watched Boy Meets World. Okay, if you're going to mess up the continuity and the lore of Boy Meets World, I'm gonna be pretty pissed at you. What Dreams May Come, 1998. How do you make a Frasier fan fiction? What is the premise of this? When Daphne and Niall's 5-year-old daughter ends up in the hospital due to a brain tumor, the whole family's there to support them. Damn, dude. This is heavy stuff. The devil is getting forgiven. Niles has a daughter that has a brain tumor. When Michelle is feeling left out, Jesse and Becky help her to feel better. This person should just write for Fuller House at this point. Stephanie loses her second child when he's born too soon. Why the fuck would you write this? When Kimmy shares a devastating secret with DJ goes to the only person she can trust with it, Danny. Okay, what is the devastating secret? What? What on earth? Okay, hold on. Disclaimer, I don't own Full House. Okay, glad we got that out of the way. DJ was very worried about Kimmy. She seemed distracted today and went out of her way to avoid DJ. Finally, DJ cornered her in the hallway. Kimmy, are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong? If I did, I'm really sorry. No, DJ, I'm not mad at you. I just know that when you find out what my older sister did, you'll hate me. I know I'll lose my best friend ever. That's impossible, DJ said. What could your sister possibly have done to make me hate you? Diana, she was the drunk driver that killed your mom. What?
That doesn't even make sense.
What? Kimmy replied. Her friend got in the driver's seat so she wouldn't get in trouble, but she told me the truth last night. What the fuck is this? Kimmy burst into tears. Kimmy, DJ exclaimed, hugging her. I don't hate you, and you're still my best friend. Thank you, Deej. Kimmy paused. Are you going to go to the cops about this? Kimmy asked. Before DJ could answer, the bell rang. See you later, Kimmy, DJ said. Wow. Oh, my Lord. She ran to catch her, so she doesn't even give a shit. She's like, bell rang, I gotta go. I gotta go, Kimmy, sorry. She ran to catch her bus. When DJ got home, she found Stephanie holding Michelle. Steph, does Dad know you're doing that? DJ asked. He said I could, Stephanie said. Are you okay? Where's Dad? DJ asked. He's in the kitchen, Stephanie replied. Why? I need to talk to him, DJ said. Kimmy told me something and I'm not sure what to do about it. Okay, Stephanie said. What did she tell you? Nothing, DJ sighed. She sighed at that. Nothing. Liar, Stephanie said. You said something and something isn't nothing. Steph, DJ said. Just trust me. You don't want to know. Stephanie nodded. Dad, DJ said. Got a minute? Sure, honey, Danny said. What's on your mind? Kimmy told me something that her older sister told her. Diana was actually driving the car that killed Mom. Her friend jumped in the driver's seat so that she wouldn't get in trouble. I don't know what to do. Kimmy asked me if I was going to tell the cops. If I don't, I'll be doing the wrong thing. If I do, Kimmy will hate me. Deej, Danny said. You're just a kid. I'll take care of it. Let me guess, he reports her to the police. DJ, Danny said a few hours later. Hi, Dad. So what did you do? I went to Rose's lawyer. Danny said, I told him what Kimmy told you without using Diana's name. He's going to the judge and filing an appeal for Rose. DJ hugged her father. Thanks, Dad. She paused. Does it make me a bad person that I'm mad at Diana? Of course not, Danny said. Diana caused your mom to die. But honey, forgiveness isn't for the other person. It's for yourself. Pent-up anger is like taking poison and expecting the other person to die. DJ nodded again, seeing the wisdom in Danny's words. He always knew best. Wow. And you can hear the applause and the end credits rolling as the scene plays out, too, which is nice. Wow. They honestly, they should put this in Fuller House. They just put an AI, what's his face? Bob Saget. Just put him in there and have him say, don't worry, we went to the police. She's going to jail. Yes. the end song plays. Did they ever have a somber song during Full House? Because some series had that when it was a serious episode. Oh my God, there's another Full House one. When Michelle is feeling left out, Jesse and Becky Hill. Okay, no, we need something really. We need more drunk driving deaths in Full House. When Stephanie learns of a personal. Oh my God. When Stephanie learns of a personal tragedy Joey went through, she comforts him. Now, what could this possibly be? Did Joey lose a child? Did Joey kill somebody? Was Joey molested? Oh my God! It's the first thing that my eyes went to were your mom's grave. What is it? What is this person's fixation with the mom and her death? Okay, disclaimer: I don't own Full House. It was a bright, sunny day. Danny, Joey said, I need to borrow your car today. Mine is in the shop. Danny sighed. Joey, please tell me you're not revisiting his grave. Whose grave? 5-year-old Stephanie asked, coming into the kitchen. Your mom's grave, Joey said. Liar, liar, pants on fire, Stephanie replied, putting her hands on her hips. Daddy said his grave, and Mommy was a girl, not a boy. Well, clearly this wasn't written in 2025, okay? This is a little outdated. Listen, Danny said, changing the subject. He's dead. I know he's dead, Joey replied, rolling his eyes, but he was my son. What the fuck? You had a son? Stephanie asked. Well, sort of, Joey said, kneeling down to Stephanie's level. Technically, he was my wife's son. You had a wife? Yes, Joey said. I married my childhood sweetheart. Before we met, she had a son named Joshua, or Josh as everyone called him. He must have been special, Stephanie said. Joey smiled. He was, he replied. You girls remind me of him. He's had DJ's spunkiness. He was as sweet as you are, and he was as cute as Michelle. So how did he die? Stephanie asked. Tears came to Joey's eyes. He was killed, he said gently, but I can't talk about how. I'm sorry, Joey, Stephanie said. I know I can't replace your son, but you can think of me like a daughter. Joey hugged Stephanie. Sweetie, she said, you already are my... Oh, she said... So they swapped Joey's gender, too. You already are my little girl in my heart. I love you. I love you too, Joey, Stephanie said. Do you love me as much as you love your son? Of course, Joey replied. Danny smiled. Just remember, he said, you're my little girl first. He tossed Joey the keys to his car. Thanks, Danny, Joey said. Just then, Michelle started crying. Can I get her, Dad? Stephanie asked. Yeah, okay, Danny said. Just bring her straight here. Stephanie happily skipped out of the den and into the living room. She brought Michelle into Danny. Good job, Stephanie, Danny said, smiling. Thanks, Stephanie said. I'm going to reward myself with some ice cream. Danny laughed. Okay, he said, but just one. Stephanie nodded and took an ice cream from the refrigerator. The end. Wow. This is incredible. And I could hear the credits rolling right now and everybody applauding. This is really touching. Wow. What on earth has to hop into your head that you're like, you know what? I love Full House. I want to write 2 tragedies about it. I want to write about Joey's dead son, and I also want to write about a drunk driving incident with Stephanie's mother. Does everything have to do with death? There's another Full House. Oh my God! After a family tragedy, Becky and Jesse go to a therapist and learn Alex is sensitive. Who's Alex?
Their son.
Whose son?
Jesse and Becky's.
Oh, okay.
One of the twins.
Okay. Oh, that's right. They had twins. Mm-hmm. What do you mean nothing happened in that Of course something happened. Something tragic happened in that fanfic. For shame. Clearly you weren't paying attention because a lot happened, okay? There was a lot of revelation. Guys, this is a disclaimer. I don't own Full House. Nikki and Alex were as different as night and day. They were best friends and identical twins, but that's where the differences end. Alex was extremely sensitive in bold type. It wasn't just as if going through something. It was all the time. The smallest thing would make him cry. You know, at first we thought he was just being dramatic, Jesse said to the therapist, or trying to manipulate us, but we realize now that we have a real concern with him. If his brother or cousins are going through something, it will affect them. It can last for hours, if not days. We're really worried. Dr. Joyce nodded. She had met twins and spoken with Alex at length. Alex is sensitive, she explained. I could have told you that, Jesse mumbled. You could just hear the laugh track when that happened. Becky shot Jesse a glare. So what can we do about it, she asked. Is it fair to treat him differently than his brother? What's that?
Egg salad.
Oh, she made me egg salad. Oh, man, that's great. I like that a lot.
Good.
Thank you for that. Guys, I just had a little egg salad sandwich. I'm ready to tackle this very sensitive subject matter. Don't worry, I'm sure everybody has a tragic story. We might get one for Michelle, too. Why is this person obsessed with traumatizing all the characters of Full House? Oh, man. Okay. So what can we do about it, she asked. Is it fair to treat him differently than his brother? Let me ask you something, Joyce replied. If your son suddenly had a blood sugar crash, would it be unfair of you to allow him to eat something sweet, even though you normally don't allow sweets before dinner? Of course not. We just worry about things like discipline. Well, you do know that discipline doesn't mean punishment, Dr. Joyce explained. It means to teach. Really? I didn't know that, Jesse said. I always thought discipline meant to punish bad behavior when necessary. It's a common misconception because punishment is one option for discipline. That and rewarding good behavior are the most common forms of disciplining. We didn't even know there were other options, Becky said softly. But we don't know what to do instead of punishment and reward. There's nothing wrong with rewarding good behavior, Dr. Joyce said. But punishment with a sensitive child is not only distasteful, it's also harmful. Being negative in general is harmful. How is that? Jesse asked. Well, negativity can cause low self-esteem. It can cause low self-worth. It can lead to emotional outbursts. In the most serious cases, it can lead to suicide. Isn't this like a little baby? Isn't this like a?
How old were the twins when the show was going on?
They were born, and then they were probably about like
5.
4.
Yeah.
When it ended.
Oh damn! These kids are gonna commit suicide. Now that would be a tragedy. I would read a fanfic about that. It could even lead to suicide attempts. Becky turned as white as snow. Does that mean we ignore bad behavior and let them get away with everything? Jesse asked. Absolutely not, Dr. Joyce assured Jesse and Becky. But punishment isn't the only alternative to allowing them to get away with everything. Dr. Joyce paused. Tell me about Pammy, she said. Becky blinked away a few tears. Well, she was our first baby, Jesse said. She was born minutes before Alex and Nikki. She died when she was a year and a half.
Did that really happen in the show?
What?
Did they lose a baby?
No.
What the hell is with all this infant death?
I think this person is projecting.
What is going on here? She died when she was a year and a half. It's been very hard on all of us. Come to think of it, Becky said, that's when Alex started to become more sensitive. Could that have been the catalyst? Wait, what? Wait a sec. So if she was born minutes before Alex and Nikki and she died when she was a year and a half, how the hell would Alex even remember this? Could that have been the catalyst? Alex was always sensitive, Dr. Joyce explained. But yes, it's likely that could have caused the sensitivity to become worse. So now what can we do? Jesse asked. ... Later when they got home, Alex and Nikki were called to the den. Mommy, Alex said, hugging Becky. Daddy. He hugged Jesse as well. Listen, boys, Jesse said after hugs and kisses. Mommy and I need to say sorry. Why you sorry, Daddy? You didn't do anything wrong, Nikki asked. You boys have been through so much, Becky said, and we've been hard on you. From now on, things are going to be different. They explained the new plan, and the plan is not gone into. So the way that I like to see it is the credits are about to roll. The dialogue fades away, and you don't know quite what they're saying. You see their mouths moving, but you hear the applause, and then you see the Golden Gate Bridge pop up, and it's great. It's a movie moment. It's a Sopranos moment. All right, how many other traumatizing events could this person put into Full House? Well, there's a lot of Peter Pan. After 3-year-old Winnie gets smacked in school for accidentally spilling a cup of glue, Mr. Darling comes to this. What the fuck is wrong with this person? When Michael Darling is desperately ill, Peter saves him. When he gives birth to her first child while her husband is MIA? When Peter and Tinkerbell discover they have feelings for each other, Peter faces his worst fear growing up. Okay. Oh my god, there's one for A Christmas Carol. Bob Cratchit and his family have shown many people kindness. Now that kindness is about to be repaid 100-fold. It's not quite the same when someone didn't die. Scrooge experiences a past of the past that he is connected to, even though in the... Okay, I don't even know what that said. Ebenezer meets Emily for the first time. I love Lucy. Lucy is tired of Ricky's behavior. She puts her foot down and they come to a compromise. What behavior? She's the one who's always flying off the handle. Let's see what Lucy's doing. Okay. All right, disclaimer. I don't own I Love Lucy. Lucy sighed. She was really annoyed with Ricky. He was always telling her what she could and couldn't do. Lucy, I'm home, Ricky said. We need to talk, Lucy told him. I'm tired of you acting like you're the boss. You always tell me what I can and can't do. You've even acted hurtful towards me when I don't listen to what you say. You're not the boss of me, and what you do isn't okay. Ricky sat down. That's the way my father ran his household, Ricky said. I'm not your mother, Lucy added. There's got to be some changes around here. From now on, we're equals. I expect you to respect me as much as I respect you. I love you too much to put up with your behavior. So does this mean I'm supposed to just keep my mouth shut when I'm thinking what you're doing is? I never said that, Lucy interrupted. It means that you're supposed to tell me how you feel. We'll discuss it and come to a compromise. But there are some things you don't compromise about, Ricky said. Now, is there a laugh track going on while this is happening? Then you should take a hint, Lucy said. If there's something I won't compromise on, it's because it's important to me. Well, if something works, why change it? Ricky asked, referring to a debate they had a few weeks ago. Because 1, it doesn't work, and B, it makes me uncomfortable, and finally, because it caused problems in the past. The point is, if you can treat me like an equal, that's great. If that's a deal breaker for you, we might as well part ways now. We need to come up with a different set of rules if I'm not in charge, Ricky said. I'm not going to let things be out of control. I'm thinking I agree not to set rules and consequences for you, and you agree not to be unreasonable. Fine, Lucy said. And one more thing, Ricky added. Stop asking if you can be in the show. You don't have a good voice. What? That's the end of it. What is wrong with this person? What is going on? Oh my God. Oh, there's another Bible one. Jesus Christ Superstar. Les Miserables. Mom. When Christy gets pregnant for a 3rd time, what is she to do? Maybe don't keep getting pregnant. There's a lot of Les Miserables. Holy shit. Holy fuck. When was the last time this person wrote something? Hold on. November 20. Wow, this is recent. This was last year. Princess Duger, what on earth are you doing, girl? All right, hold on a second. What is going on here? Project compassion, words of comfort for anyone who is going through a tough time. I want to reassure you that it's only a temporary situation. Many years ago, I went through a period of time where everything that could go wrong did, and everything that didn't go wrong would. During that period of time, Superstorm Sandy hit. Holy fuck, what is going on with this woman? We lost electricity for 2 weeks. That just added to the $ storm. I thought things would never get better. It took a long time. I was feeling overwhelmed and just didn't care about anything anymore. Then slowly things started to improve. Now, even though once in a while I have a bad day, things in my life are basically good. All this is to say you should never feel like things are hopeless. You should never give up. If you need to reach out to someone, whether it is a friend, a therapist, or even a crisis center, go ahead and do it. Don't withdraw into yourself. Don't give up. You see, it's when you give up that things get worse. Yes, you may need to take a break. That could consist of taking a hot bubble bath, going on vacation, or anything in between. What you shouldn't do is isolate yourself. You have people who love you. Don't feel like there's something wrong with you if you're struggling or if you have a problem. You are the perfect you. Okay. Very, very nice words of encouragement. Why on earth are you writing tragedies about Full House? Oh my Lord, what is this? I'm not sure how to explain this except to say it's a community for forever stories. I don't even know what that means. Yeah, I think we need to talk to Princess Do-Gooder and ask her what is going on in that noggin of hers, that she's writing tragic fan fiction about Full House. I can't even believe that anybody would write anything about Full. You know what? Now I need to go down the Full House pipeline and see who else has made Full House fan fiction. It's a shame it's not something that I'm more familiar with, because honestly, I haven't watched that much. I watched it as a kid. Oh my God. Happily Ever Tanner, a sequel to Whoa Baby, and an alternate season 8. This is insane, man. Full House Wedgie Wars, season 1. In season 1, Stephanie is introduced to what a wedgie is. Okay. There has to be something else going on. Thank you, dear.
You're welcome.
And gradually gets pulled into the antics. DJ and Kimmy push the limits of the game while Stephanie learns how to handle herself. The war starts small but quickly grows into a regular game of one-upmanship when the adults aren't around. Okay, that definitely sounds like some fetish shit. There's something else going on there. What if in season 8, when Steph, Gia, and the guys go joyriding, that Gia and the guys don't survive the accident? Why are we killing the characters of Full House? How does Steph cope with losing her best friend and gratitude for her sister saving her life? Okay, there's another one. Stephanie, Gia, and Michelle get in a car accident going home from the mall. Takes place in a future season, season 10 if there were more seasons. What the fuck, man? Stephanie is severely anxious about the well-being of her sister. She wakes up in the early hours of the morning screaming, waking up the whole house and Michelle as everyone is on edge. Why are we doing this to the Tanners? Everybody is preparing for the anniversary of Pamela's death. Wait, alternate ending of DJ's encounter with an octopus from a magical world? What? I can't even. I gotta get out of here. Dirty Rebecca. Becky gets a call from her husband who is on tour in Japan again, when she hears the sound of a female voice giggling in the background. She wonders if she trusts him anymore. Takes place directly after season 8. I do not own Full House nor Dirty Diana, courtesy of Michael Jackson and his recording companies. Oh my god. This is nuts. Alright, hold on a second. Let's go a little further in. Michelle's long-term boyfriend dumps her, leaving her heartbroken. Meanwhile, Stephanie and DJ have a big fight that gets the best of them. What if Steph and Gio were in love and ran away together? This is the story of the Tanner family and how they got their first computer. Oh my lord. Welcome, Cando. You're just in time for Full House fan fiction. Which is something that I now wish that I never knew existed. Stephanie and Danny have a fight. Jesse goes on a date with someone he never expected. Rated T for some sexual moments. What? What sexual moments could be happening? I'm trying to skim it. I'm trying to find something funny and not tragic, my lord. Michelle realizes at age 17 she'll become a teen mom. Oh, what the fuck? In episode DJ's Choice, DJ rejects both Viper and Nelson. In this story, she rejects one. Who is it? Like, you have, like... The fact that there's just a couple of things that go in line with the actual show and are, like, alternate tellings. It's seriously, like, a 1-to-4 ratio, alternate tellings to tragedies where somebody's killed for whatever reason. Jesse catches Joey with a love note from Danny. Keeping it in the family? Oh my lord almighty. Oh my god, you're shipping these two? Yeah, this is crazy. I gotta get out of this pipeline. Give me away from Full House. Holes? Okay, what is, like, you know what is the thing with the least amount of fan fiction? Just things I've never heard of. Snow. V for Oh, I thought it was V for Vendetta. I don't know what any of this is. Flowers of Evil. The manga or the poetry collection? Oh, this must be something else. Rosemary's Baby? They really have a fanfiction for anything. Oh, Home Improvement. Hell yeah. Hold on, let's see. Home Improvement. How about Seinfeld? A little Home Improvement smut. Oh, Law and Order. No, we need actual Home Improvement. Can we do? Oh yeah, let's do it by letter. Come on, there's got to be a Home Improvement. Hungry. I thought I said Hungry Games for a second. No, there's no Home Improvement fanfics. Are you kidding me, man? What a ripoff. We got Homeless Bird. We got Homer. What about House? House MD. You don't have House MD? How the fuck are you gonna have Full House but you don't have Home Improvement, man? Bullshit. Let's see if Seinfeld has the fan fiction. Although I doubt it could be as good as that AI Seinfeld that was running, and eventually they just started breaking and questioning their reality. Oh man, how are you not gonna have a Seinfeld fanfiction? This is such a tragedy. All right, no Seinfeld. What about Friends? All right, you know I'm just gonna look under it because it's not even gonna do it right. Fahrenheit 4. How do you do Fahrenheit 451 fanfiction? Fantastic Mr. Fox. Feed. Flowers of Evil again. No, we don't have Friends? How do you have Full House? Oh wait, although I don't think it has everything because Full House isn't on here. So maybe this doesn't have everything. Oh, these are books. I fucked up, guys. I fucked up real bad. Hold on. TV. There we go. Okay. We might have Home Improvement now. Homefront, Home Improvement 182. Here we go. Yes. Okay. Literally the first one that pops up. Tim and Jill face every parent's worst nightmare when one of their sons goes missing. Or at least this one's normal. This just sounds like an episode. Oh, what do we have one that's like M-rated where there's like a murder? Let me filter it. I need rated M for mature. Oh my god. Wait, is this still Home Improvement though? Oh my god, it is Home Improvement. There's this many M-rated Home Improvement fanfics. It's spring in 1975. Tim Taylor, a student at WMU, meets young student Jill Patterson at the beginning of spring break. She captivates him so much that he can't get her out of his mind. Oh my lord. Mark is home alone and wants to do what he loves, but is soon interrupted. Okay, what on earth does that mean? Whoa! What? It's the first thing I saw! Don't swallow my cum yet, Mark. Oh my god. Mark is wearing black. Mark wants a relationship with Ronnie. How far did... Okay, I need to get out of the M-rated Home Improvement, okay? Let's just do that. I don't need to see that. That's... Let's go back to people being killed in car accidents. You know what? Actually, let's go to the missing child because this is the first one that popped up. All right. Okay, so this person did not disclaim that they do not own Home Improvement. Okay, so they are tentatively saying that Home Improvement is their property and they own it, and they're actually showing two middle fingers to Fox right now. Well, because they didn't declare that. So I just want you guys to know that. Oh my God, there's chapters for this one. Oh my God, man. Okay. Prologue. Detroit, Christmas, 1986. Did they live in Detroit in Home Improvement? I didn't even know that. Babe, did they live in Detroit in Home Improvement?
Oh, man. I thought they were...
I never paid attention to where they lived.
I didn't think they were in Chicago. I thought they were, like, somewhere Midwest. I don't remember exactly. I know, I can't tell you most of the information. If it was Full House, I could absolutely...
You're more of a Full House dictionary?
Yes.
She's the wiki for Full House. She knows so many things about television and movies. She's my encyclopedia. I can tell you all about things that don't matter. She can tell you about pop culture. All right. Listen. Oh, really? Oh, Kando, you're the lore master of Home Improvement. So tell me if this is good for canon then as we read this, okay? All right. Prologue. Detroit, Christmas 1986. The first snowfall of the season had turned Detroit into a winter wonderland, with soft flurries covering rooftops and swirling around the street lamps. Inside the Taylor house, warmth radiated from every corner, and the scent of Jill's freshly baked cookies drifted through the rooms as she and the boys prepared to decorate the Christmas tree. There was a hum of excitement in the air, and at the center of it was Randy, full of energy, racing between his brothers and the boxes of ornaments stacked in the corner. "Mom, I get to put the star on top this year, right?" he asked, jumping up and down as he held up the glittering golden star. "Oh, no, you don't," Brad said, grabbing for the star with a smirk. "You did it last year. It's my turn." Randy grinned and pulled the star back, sticking out his tongue. "Too bad, Brad." Brad lunged, making a playful grab at him, but Randy darted behind the couch, giggling as he held the star above his head triumphantly. "You're too slow." Jill watched her boys with a fond smile, trying to hide her laughter as Brad continued to chase Randy around the living room, both of them weaving between boxes of ornaments and the tangled lights. Little Mark sat nearby, looking between his brothers and giggling, even though he didn't understand what the fuss was about. It's actually surprisingly well written for what it is. All right, what is the... Where does the kidnapping happen? Immediately taken out. Jill is a renowned bad cook. Well, this is bullshit. Well, maybe she got. You know what? I'll tell you what. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Maybe because her son went missing, that's when she lost her cooking ability. You know, it just wasn't the same after that. She was traumatized. Okay, that's the backstory of that. Why would you make chapters of this? This is just happy. Oh no, but Randy never came home. The years after Randy's disappearance were marked by an ache that never truly dulled, an unending emptiness compounded by guilt and an endless cycle of what ifs that each parent carried silently, separately, unable to ease each other's pain. For Jill and Tim, the weight of losing Randy was inseparable from the guilt and blame they quietly shouldered, haunting them every day. Each replayed the terrible afternoon over and over in their minds, picking apart the moments, the choices, desperately searching for some way they could have prevented the unthinkable. This is insane. This is absolute. Oh my God! Look at this. Though years had passed, the shadow of Randy's absence remained, a reminder of a mystery with no answers. All right, does this get solved? Oh my lord! This is just like the family coping with this kid missing. All right, is there a happy ending? Do they find him years later? There's a lot of chapters for this. I need to know. Oh, Randy's back. Randy's back. Where did they come across him? I can't remember everything. It's like, I know it's there, but sometimes it feels so far away. But talking with you like this, it's like the pieces are coming back. Oh my lord, what happened to Randy, dude? Oh God, yeah, maybe Wilson took him. It's always somebody that they trust. That's what happens. A private investigator. The many years he'd been searching for Randy. This is insane, man. Sorry, I'm skimming this to try to put this together. So this doesn't even like end on a good note. Returning home late one night, Tim felt the weight of the day's work settle over him. He looked up at up the stairs, thinking of Jill and the boy, feeling a fierce determination settle over him. He was ready to protect his family no matter what lay ahead, and to fight for this boy who had suffered so much. And then he went on TV and he entertained millions. So that's good. All right, what on earth could a Seinfeld fan fiction look like? If there even is one. There has to be a Seinfeld. There isn't a Seinfeld. Oh no, there is. There's actually 263 of them. Oh man, a fake date for Patrice turns into tabloid rumors, public bickering, and one surprisingly natural kiss. Who the hell is Patrice? Practice. My lord, I saw Patrice. Jerry and George try to deny everything, especially their chemistry. Oh my lord. Taking the exact wording of Larry in the Curb finale about how this should have been the finale. George encounters an awkward dilemma with a cashier. Oh no. This is just like somebody's joke in Seinfeld. George stepped up to the till. Oh lord, the cashier had huge knockers. That's exactly how George would think too. Don't look down there, he muttered to himself inside his head. You pig, she screeched. George widened his eyes. His stomach seized up and the air went out of his lungs. He felt heat light up his entire body. He looked up and scrunched up his face as he leaned in sideways. Excuse me? He choked. And this is where the laugh track comes in. You heard me, you pig. You look down. I'll have you thrown out of here. You look down. Look down? I never look down, George retorted, batting a hand through the air. Who do you take me for? Look down. He shook his head. This guy actually writes exactly like the show. Yes, you did. You looked down. Me? Look down? Are you kidding me? You must be crazy. You looked down. George puffed out his chest and stood tall. Lady, I'll have you know I've never looked down. Not once in my life. Never. Me? Nope. What do you think about me, huh? How many men can say that? I don't look down. The cashier turned to a freckled redhead with pigtails. Get Sharon, will you? Sharon? Who's Sharon? The redhead nodded and then rolled her eyes and whispered to her, he looked down. She stole a glance at George. I know he so looked down, the cashier agreed. Creep. George rubbed a bead of sweat off his brow as the redhead left, and she stuck out her tongue at him. Sharon? Who's Sharon? He stammered. His lips started jumping about erratically, like he lost the thought. The manager. George threw his hands in the air and started flailing them about. Okay, I did it. I admit it. I looked down, okay? I admit it. I looked down, all right? He thrust his hands in the directions of her chest. But look at those things. Just look at them. How could you not look down? I bet every guy you meet looks down. Well, that's a compliment. I'm complimenting you. Haha, that's it. Looking down is a compliment. That's why I look down. I'm paying you a compliment. Pig. Sharon, a beefy woman, approached. Peggy, what's happening here? He looked down, said Peggy matter-of-factly, motioning her head at George. I hope that he sent this to Larry David. He's like, guys, I have a great idea for a skit on Seinfeld. He looked down, said Peggy matter-of-factly, motioning her head at George. Sharon screwed up her face. He did what? He looked down. Sharon was stunned, as if shocked by electricity. No, she gasped. Peggy nodded. I know, right? Sharon glared at George. He looked down? Peggy nodded again. He, she motioned his head at him again, looked down. Somebody call security, Sharon shouted at once. The pig, she muttered to herself. George's hands began to wring themselves together and start to drip. What was he to do? He looked around nervously. Everyone in the restaurant was staring at him now, mouths gaping open and food held midair with forks. His fingers jumped to his drenched collar and began pulling it away from his wet neck. Who wants the rest? Leave me a comment. I do want the rest. Let me see the rest. George Lover. The author would like to thank you for your continued support. The review has been posted. I don't even need an account to post it. It's actually it's funny that this is actually written like a Seinfeld episode. This is great. That was the most realistic one of anything that I've read. George obtains the Necronomicon. Elaine becomes concerned when Mr. Peterman refuses to eat garlic or step into sunlight. Jerry kicks it into overdrive this holiday season. George convinces Jerry to buy Facebook stock. Kramer. This is just like the Seinfeld current day Twitter account. Just a fluff piece between Jerry and Julia, who plays Elaine, inspired by the Seinfeld blooper reels. Okay. Mr. Peterman sends Elaine to the Midwest to research fashion. Oh my lord. This is the story of the four characters after they were released from jail. George Costanza has a complaint about some unsatisfactory popcorn. Unbeknownst to him, it will lead to an unforgettable experience. George is a murderer and Kramer is a superhero. What the fuck is this? Oh my lord. There's acts to this. I can't do this, man. I can't do this. Elaine is pregnant. Putty upgrades to an iPhone. Kramer gets a medical marijuana card. Jerry enjoys the bachelor lifestyle. George prepares for a destination wedding. This is insane. This is like a full script. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. Kramer has quite a blowout at the Laugh Factory. I actually wonder if anybody has made that. Kramer goes to a grocery store to buy a sofa. A sofa? What? Man, lady? What the hell is this? A man walks into a grocery... This isn't even about G. Spangler. Kramer goes to a grocery store to buy a sofa. It just says cashier, man, cashier, lady. A man walks into a grocery store. The grocery store has one checkout line. The line is full, but he cuts everyone to talk to the cashier. Sir, you have to go back to the back of the line. No, it's okay, lady. I just want to ask a question. I'm a teenage boy, not a lady. Puts hands up. It's okay, okay? Slowly reaches into coat and pulls out a handgun and cautiously sets it on the counter. It's okay, I just want to buy something. Eyes gun. Oh, okay. What do you want to buy? I want to buy a sofa. This is a grocery store. Well, yeah, but can I have a sofa? We don't sell furniture. I'll go check. The man walks into an aisle where he meets a lady. Hey there. Hey, how are you? I'm fine. Where's the sofas? In the Milky Way. Cool, thanks. Haha, you're welcome, champ. Really, I'm a champ. Oh, really? Yeah, you just said so. No, you did. What the fuck is this? What on earth is this? If you're reading this, you probably reached the first period I put in the site. Good job, you. Now continue reading this stuff and don't stop until you scream, ah, my eyes are bleeding. Jesus Christ, man. Codename Kids Next Door. Adventure of Bob Pants. Ever wonder what would SpongeBob... What? Ever wondered what would SpongeBob is like in real life? Well, here it is. His personality may come as a surprise, but it's the truth. Don't shoot the messenger. Yeah, this person... Some people need to be contained on fanfiction.net, okay? I think I need to step away from this. The Full House alone was... I was going to look at like the Game of Thrones one, but after seeing Full House, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know what's going on over there. But, alright. So, let me move on to something else here. So, there's a site called Royal Road that I came across a while back. I was watching this YouTuber that talks about writing. I was going through a time when I was just trying to get to gauge other people's advice when it came to writing something, just to see like what the mass expectations are, or like what other people's approaches are. Basically, I was just like shopping around to kind of test my blade, right? So I came across this woman whose videos are pretty good, but she's extremely dry, and every video that she makes kind of comes across like a research paper or a thesis, and it seems like she's trying way too hard to get her point across. And she had written a story and posted it on this site, and I wanted to see what her writing was like, so I took a peek at it, and it was not good. It was not good. And every single one of her videos was about how to like improve your writing, about like the fundamentals, what characters are good or bad, and like pretty much like your run of the mill how to sort of craft styled stuff, right? But she didn't follow any of her rules at all in her writing, and it really like bothered me. I have a very hard time taking people seriously who do stuff like that and then just don't follow their own rules or their own advice, because I really think that when it comes to any kind of creative pursuit, it really has to be an even distribution of talent, or not, talent might be the wrong word. Maybe, well, let's start with technique and understanding. And talent isn't the right word. intuition. Maybe intuition. I think that when you have when you've any type of thing that you're trying to pursue, especially like a creative medium, when you have consumed enough of something in the pursuit of making your own or finding your own path on it. So in my case, like with writing, I think that you get to a point where you can differentiate in your own writing, for example, what sounds bad, what is boring, what is long-winded, and what essentially will put your audience off the path of what you're trying to make. And it's very it's very cringe-inducing isn't the right word. It's very disheartening when somebody doesn't have the kind of like the radar for that, especially somebody who's giving advice in the other respect, because I think that it really is like equal parts, like left and right side of the brain. You have the creative aspect and you have like the science of the matter of like assembling everything. So when you have one but not the other, that's a big problem in either respect. Like if you're very good intuitively with like a good idea, but you don't have the execution, that's just as bad as having the structure but not having the ability to hook somebody into it. And she has that problem where she has technique or like the understanding, basically the recipe for it, but she doesn't know how to execute it properly. But long story short, I had tried to read a chapter of a book, and I just couldn't get through it. I think I'll try to power through it at some point. I want to give her a chance because I feel bad. But it's pretty rough. Like it's you could see that she's very passionate about what she does, but she doesn't quite have it yet. And I think the problem when you post something like that online, especially in like a serial or like chapters, like chapter upon chapter, like let's say like week by week, is that people will always be able to go back to the beginning and see where you started and your inexperience with it. And especially if it's a first chapter and if it's the beginning of the story, and you're especially if you're dealing with something like, let's say, fantasy or science fiction, if your first chapter is very weak and you don't know how to execute it well or to hook people, you're going to have a huge problem hooking new people to give you a chance to say get to chapter 15 where it gets really good, where you've actually started to put the pieces together. And I don't think that editing will really help it either, because you essentially have to just rewrite the entire thing. So that's the pitfall of putting something on the internet like that. But I do want to give her a chance at some point. I tried to get through the first chapter. It was very, very rough. It just does not flow well, and it does not make me care about her characters. But I did discover this website as a result of it. So I've been skimming through to try to find things that people have written. I went on like the recently trending. The amount of AI pictures are absolutely great here. So I saw this and I'm like, yeah, I gotta read that. I need to know what's going on here. But we have billionaire in America 1945, starting from the underworld Hollywood. Okay. We have Code Zero, Rise of the Blood Sorcerer. I want to try like pick and choose like a couple different types of things that we could read here. Now, I'm not gonna, as opposed to like fan fiction where you could tell it's absolutely batshit insane. I'm gonna try not to be a huge asshole when it comes to this sort of stuff. Because these people are actually, it's the same reason that I'm still gonna try to read that woman's story in pieces. I'm gonna try to see if it gets better, if she improves, because it's tough to put something like this out here. It's very terrifying. It's very daunting. But if it's extremely bad, we can still laugh at it. And also, we're gonna read Warlord Metal as well. So I want to skim a few of these and see if they're worth looking into. I think we should start with Provisional King though. Let's see what the synopsis of this is, Levian is a royal bastard and orphan who, shortly after graduating from the military academy and being appointed as a captain, sees his life completely turned upside down. That sounds familiar. His father, the king, a man he never knew, dies mysteriously during a diplomatic mission, triggering a political crisis. The neighboring kingdom declares the actions of the late monarch a threat, plunging the kingdom of Fleer into war. Unexpectedly, Levian is named provisional king despite his illegitimate birth, tasked with ruling until his younger half-brother comes of age to inherit the throne. Surrounded by enemies who see him as an obstacle to their ambitions, and with war knocking at the kingdom's gates, Levian must rise against all odds to fight for the survival of a crumbling realm. I will update 2 chapters per week, sometimes 3. What to expect? A hard magic system based on the elements. Epic wars and global geopolitics. Building and growing a kingdom. Romance, not harems. Not harems! I'm not reading it. Alright, so let's see the world map here. Send domain. It's just called domain? Or is it called treaty domain? Uteldin Islands. Radayan. Look, let me tell you something, okay? This is one of my pet peeves. If you're gonna make fake countries, if you're gonna make fake continents, they have to sound good. It doesn't matter if they're words that don't exist. They have to sound good on the tongue. You have to hear and visualize your characters saying them and them making sense. Okay? And especially like things like this, you would assume that this is probably like one language that encompasses all these countries. So this one language conceived of all these countries and how they're named. So why would the same language have a country like Obsidian and then Zodemia and Uteldan and Domain? Or no, it just says domain. Or Rada'ain, you know? There has to be like an overarching through line with them. Okay, that's just my personal opinion. Copy of the map drawn by the cartographer Sisypha in the year 3973. Her notes detail the layout of the northern lands as well as the mysterious unclaimed lands. Many of the fragments were completed thanks to the journeys of other explorers. All right. Of course, Seabird says, I love maps. So that's good. It's already you've already got someone hooked. All right, so let's see chapter 1 here. What do we got? All right, it's not terribly long. Okay, chapter 1, Provisional King. Levian walked through the barracks corridors. He hadn't been there long, and a couple of soldiers looked at him with barely concealed disdain. It was always the same. A reddish glow bathed the afternoon, and the dusk of night loomed as he spoke with his commanding officers inside the dormitories. "Oh, if it isn't the prodigal son," said the stout commander. "Captain Levian reporting in." Behind him, a couple of cadets entered, carrying what looked like a tray of food. I probably shouldn't attribute voices to everybody because I will forget who they are, especially if I'm reading a lot of text. So we're just gonna go through it clean. I will be a narrator today. Okay. "Sir, here's what you requested," said one of the recruits, saluting the officer. "Relax, leave it there and go back to your duties." Levian mentally noted that he hadn't been told to relax when he entered. The 2 recruits saluted and left. "Commander, permission to speak," said Levian. "Permission denied." With that comment, there was nothing he could do but remain silent. A few uncomfortable seconds passed before the pudgy commander gave him a long look and continued. "Captain, remind me of your surname." "Jack Levian, sir." "Sayson, isn't it?" "Sir, I don't bear that surname." "Of course you don't. You're the bastard son of the city's lord," he said, pointing a chubby finger at him. "If you think your father's status means you can do as you please, come back down to earth. You're nobody here, and you will never be. I know your kind, always thinking they can fix what already works." All right, I'm gonna put a little nitpick here. Okay, a little tiny nitpick. This is a different world. Why would you say come back down to earth? Are you referring to the earth as the dirt, as the ground? Wouldn't it be called somewhere else? Come back to reality. Okay, you could do that. That's what I'm saying. How does everybody know that he's the bastard, too? I mean, everybody treated Jon Snow like shit, so maybe that's the case. Let me see here. You're nobody here. You never will be. I know you're kind of was thinking they could fix what already works. Levian froze at the response. He simply stared at the regional commander before replying. Sir, I'm here to do my job the best I can. I've heard that from many people, but don't worry. As long as you're here, you won't need to make any decisions. That's my job. An awkward grimace crossed Levian's face. This was his superior officer. He couldn't argue with him no matter how much the words stung. A strange tension began to fill the air. Sir, I believe I should... A messenger arrived, running and drenched in sweat, a note trembling in his hand. Sir, we have news, said the messenger, lifting the note. Levian was about to leave when the sound of many footsteps echoed outside. A large crowd of soldiers had gathered. He took his leave from the commander and stepped towards the crowd, addressing one of the soldiers with as much authority as he could muster. Soldier, what's the meaning of this commotion? News just came in. Word is the delegation sent to negotiate with the Obsidian Kingdom was attacked. It's said they've declared war on our nation and killed all the members we sent, said the soldier with visible unease. I see. Now he understood the soldier's concern. Behind him, the stout commander approached, trembling, his skin having suddenly gone pale. He was there. Sir, what do you mean? Tizion. My father? Yes, the lord of this country was part of that delegation. They've executed him. That was even more troubling. Wow, that's quite a way to react. An emergency meeting must be called for succession. Shall I accompany you, sir? The stout commander regained his usual demeanor. I don't need you. Come with me, but keep your mouth shut. Without another word, the commander headed to the meeting. As Levian followed, a wave of sadness washed over him for a moment. He had to stop this country from falling apart. There was no time to grieve. Levian sighed and walked after his commander. Why would the king go to negotiate with what I assume to be a hostile country? That's kind of a bad idea. You'd probably send an emissary, would you not? Let's see. In a chamber lit by green spiritual fire, now we know we're in the fantasy genre, the entire high command of the kingdom of Fleer had gathered. They were seated around a circular table. At the front sat the commanders, magistrates, and key figures of the crown. In the row behind them were their second-in-commands and the scribes. Despite the gravity of the decisions to be made, there was no time for discretion. Everyone understood that there was no head left in the chain of command. Levian stood behind his commander, Julues, serving as sub-commander of the 7th Battalion. Further back were a few special seats reserved for Queen Presena and her entourage. It was clear she was mustering all her strength to be present. Her eyes were red and a handkerchief rested in her hand. Wouldn't she just be in charge? If there's she would be the queen regent, wouldn't she? Or actually, no, she's still the queen. And then you have the actual son to come of age, but she would rule in his stead, wouldn't she? Why do we need the bastard son to rule? Well, as you all must know, our lord departed in secret to negotiate with the traitors of the Obsidian King. That's not a very good king. Therefore, we must hasten the succession to the throne, said General Mongolin. General Mongoloid? Because sex... Oh, man. That's not right. That's not right. You know, they were like, we can't have a woman rule. Get the bastard in the throne. Get the bastard in the king's throne until the young lord comes of age. An uncomfortable silence filled the room until one of the magistrates spoke up. My apologies for interrupting, but the crown prince is not yet prepared to take the throne, gentlemen. Another uneasy silence followed. The military wanted to speak, but feared their words might be taken as treason. We request permission to speak freely, your majesty, the general asked. The queen straightened in her seat and fixed a firm gaze on the general. Permission granted, she replied. Your majesty, we have a problem. The prince is not ready to assume the reins of the kingdom, the general spoke with utmost care. Therefore, I believe that while the prince prepares to... What are you insinuating, General? Are you planning a coup? Said the queen, catching the general off guard. Not at all, your majesty. This is merely a suggestion. The kingdom will soon be at war. We need someone with experience. We do not doubt the prince's capabilities, but his youth is a disadvantage. I refuse. I will have anyone I will have anyone not of the line of succession executed. Please, your majesty, hear us out. All of us here are loyal to the crown, but if we do not place someone more prepared in command, I fear the kingdom may not last much longer. How dare you? Seize... She left the sentence unfinished as one of her advisors placed a hand on her shoulder and whispered something in her ear. The queen's posture softened, shifting to one of concern. The advisor spoke aloud in a neutral tone. I speak for the queen when I say she understands that everyone present has the kingdom's and the crown's best interests at heart. He paused, gazing intently at the generals for a few seconds before continuing. Given the emergency at hand, the crown will permit someone to temporarily take the throne while the situation in the kingdom stabilizes. With those words, the heavy tension in the room eased. Seeing as someone must take command, I nominate myself as interim king, said one of the generals. he's just like, yeah, how about me? I vote for me. You couldn't even tie your own boots with your pants falling off, retorted another general. You two will be the ruin of us. I am the right choice. Of the four generals in the kingdom, only one remained silent. The others began flinging insults and arguments about why they were the best candidate for the throne. While this unfolded, the doors opened to admit the head of the magisterium, who approached the queen and whispered something into her ear. She nodded and looked to the magistrate. Then she raised a hand, signaling for silence. The three generals reluctantly stopped arguing. They could not go against the monarch's will. It seems the head of the magisterium has something important to contribute to this meeting. I ask that you listen to him carefully, the queen said. Thank you, your majesty. It is now public knowledge and known to all in this room that the king is no longer with us due to a traitorous attack. I understand that there is currently a dispute over succession, but I believe I can shed some light on the matter, said the magistrate, pulling a letter sealed with magic and blood from his coat. Damn, dude. Both? Magical seals had the distinct quality of being highly resistant to wear, in addition to possessing various safeguards against forgery and methods of verifying their origin. All eyes turned toward the document with expected attention. I like that little lore drop there. Hey, I do it too. I throw my hat in the ring. Here are my credentials. I pull out my resume. I'd be like, listen, I've made a few decisions. I did pretty well. I probably put a few fake ones in there. I'd probably allow a few Fiverr Indian men to embellish my resume so that I might become king. You never know. I put some fake genealogy in there. I'd be like, listen, I'm a nobleman. I have some king's blood from a different ruling class, different country. I might be able to do something here. Okay. First, the queen may conduct any verification necessary before the envelope is opened, said the magistrate, handing the letter to the queen, who passed it to the members of her retinue trained in such matters. Once they gave their approval, the envelope was returned to the queen, who handed it back to the head of the magisterium. Having confirmed the letter's legitimacy, I will now proceed to open it and reveal its content. I think it's funny that she just passed. She didn't even look at it. She's just like, you guys check if this is real, okay? I don't know. The magistrate drew a letter opener and carefully removed the document. I, the king of Kingdom of Fleer, write this document in case of an emergency. I beg the forgiveness of my beloved wife, for she would not agree with the decision I have made. It may be that I can no longer accompany you on the path of peace and prosperity I set out for the people of this kingdom. I was not a perfect man, but I depart this life knowing I did all I could to improve the lives of our people. More than a king, I saw myself as a father to all. From the street vendor to the head of a trade guild, all are important. Many in the room lowered their gaze at these words. The queen covered her eyes with a handkerchief in her hand. To all of you who have stood by me in this journey, I offer my deepest thanks. I always appreciated you. But if I regret one thing above all, it is not having had enough time to prepare my legitimate son as my father once prepared me. It is a heavy burden to lead, and every day I hope we never have to read this message. Therefore, in light of the current situation, I ask that my legitimate son, the crown prince, not be crowned king until he reaches the age of 17. I hope that some time will help him refine what he lacks to become a worthy king, as I was, as my grandfather and his father before him. A murmur swept through the chambers at those words. Given the situation, I ask you to accept the person I name temporarily make decisions on behalf of the crown until the rightful successor reaches the age specified in his document. A greedy glint lit the eyes of the generals who had previously argued about who should be named the interim king. For them, it was a position of power, an opportunity to benefit their allies and family. They would do whatever it took to claim that role. However, I leave these final words and the command to appoint a provisional leader. Though not widely known, before I met my dear wife, I fathered an illegitimate son. His name is Levian, and he is currently enrolled in the officer training program. All voices in the room rose in volume, and comments could be heard. Isn't that the new sub-commander of the 7th Battalion? Isn't that him over there? So it's him. I name him as the provisional leader. I hope you can understand my decision. I do not say these words driven by any paternal sentiment, but because I am confident he will be an excellent leader. To my illegitimate son, I only say this. Listen and learn all you can from your elders. Surround yourself with great people. Know that I will always love you, and I regret not being there for you. And to my wife, my queen, my everything, I will never stop asking you for forgiveness. I am infinitely sorry for not being by your side. These last words caused the queen to break down in tears. With nothing more to add, I leave this letter with my sealed will. I bid you farewell and strength and resolve. Farewell, Tesson Saison III, King of Fleer. The only sound that remained in the room was the queen sobbing. Levian's mind was spinning. He couldn't grasp everything that was happening. There was no time, for he was called to the center of the chamber. This is very boring. Okay, this is very boring. I'm gone. I'm gone. What's the tension here? What's the tension? He has no credentials. We don't know anything about him. We just know he's a bastard. I'm dipping out. All right, so let's see billionaire in America 1945, starting from the underworld of Hollywood. An unrighteous and a cold-hearted man, a villain who struggled from the bottom to the top of society. To overcome his foes, he chose to be ruthless and immoral. In a world full of cruelty, John Hardy had no intention to hold back. A story of a man who traveled back to 1945, equipped with his knowledge of the future and his profound wisdom. John Hardy is determined to pursue his ultimate goal once again. It'd be great if he just traveled back to 1945 in order to tell them, no, listen, you got to drop. You have to drop more nuclear bombs. 2's not enough. I'm from the future. That's not enough. Okay, you don't understand. Anime will be created. That's what he told them. Not only AI ads, but AI covers to the books too. An integration apocalypse elf huntress from Earth. Oh my lord. Oh, this isn't even that long for a chapter. That's not that bad. Oh, Lord. It actually starts with the Battle of Iwo Jima. A brutal turning point in the Pacific War raged from February 19th to March 26, 1945. The relentless fighting transformed the island into a wasteland of ash and blood. Amid the chaos, U.S. forces suffered over 6,800 fatalities and nearly 22,000 injuries. On the other side, the Japanese garrison lost over 22,000 soldiers, with only a handful surrendering. Sergeant John Hardy of the Marine Corps was no stranger to the carnage. A 24-year-old hardened by years of combat, he led his squad in a critical assault when a bullet tore into his chest. Darkness closed in. When he awoke, it wasn't in the muddy trenches of Iwo Jima, but aboard a hospital ship, his body bandaged and aching. But there was something else, something he couldn't explain. He wasn't just John Hardy anymore. Another soul had merged with his. From a time and... Oh my god, is this a fucking isekai? Is this an isekai? Hold on a second. Urban fantasy. It doesn't say isekai, but I think it's an isekai. Alright. Another soul emerges with his from a time and place from far beyond the war-torn world he knew. Born in 1921, John had been an orphan with nothing but grit and a high school education. 5 years in the military had shaped him into a man of resolve. Now his mind housed two identities, one from his own time and another from a future filled with fragmented memories of battles not yet fought, technologies not yet invented, and a different world altogether. He should bet on the horses. He would make a lot of money. He should start Polymarket. That would be dope. All right. Confusion threatened to consume him, but John had learned long ago to keep his head down and adapt. For now, he would play the part of the wounded soldier. Nurse Catherine, a young woman with bright eyes and a steady hand, tended to him. She stood out amongst the other nurses, her gentle touch and warm demeanor making the sterile ship feel almost human. "You're healing faster than most," Catherine noted as she applied fresh bandages, a hint of admiration in her voice. "You'll be up and about before the rest of the boys." "Thank you," John replied, watching her work. He had noticed it too. His recovery was nothing short of miraculous. Deep wounds that should have taken weeks to heal were closing within days, scabs forming almost overnight. He didn't know if it was the war-hardened body or the rest of the soul that now shared it, but he decided to keep his newfound resilience to himself. The ship, crowded with injured soldiers, sailed toward Pearl Harbor. John's rapid healing was both a blessing and a burden, as it reminded him of the strange fusion that had taken place. Was Pearl Harbor already like up and running after the attack by 1945? They're just going back there. It's just in ruins. They're like, we didn't even take the ships out yet, but you guys can hang out over here. Just watch out because there's a lot of ships that were sunk here. There's a lot of debris still in the water. The dizziness and mental fog that had accompanied his dual existence left him restless. Seeking help, he spoke to the ship's medical staff, describing vague symptoms of disorientation. Sounds like you've got a case of combat fatigue, the doctor had said, writing him off with a few sedatives and a recommendation for rest once they reached Hawaii. Despite the crowded ship and constant noise, John found solace in helping Catherine during his downtime. Oh, I think there's a love interest. He assisted with small tasks, grateful for the distraction. As the days passed, he became a familiar presence among the wounded, offering quiet support when needed. After nearly 2 weeks at sea, the ship docked at Pearl Harbor. John underwent a brief medical examination when the doctors marveled at his recovery but paid little attention in the rush of incoming casualties. Following the doctor's orders, John reported to the psychiatric department, where he was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress. Okay, they did not know what PTSD was in 1945, dude. They just said you were shell-shocked. So they're like, look, we need to look at your mental health. How are you coping with the war? They just gave you amphetamines and they told you to fuck off, and then you developed a drinking habit. No. It was convenient. It was a convenient diagnosis, one that allowed him to return to the front lines. He told me he had PTSD. They're like, "You're good to go. Go on. We got to send you back." They're still trying to fight off the. They haven't dropped the nukes yet. We gotta get those Japanese out of there. One that allowed him to avoid. Oh no, I'm sorry. Avoid returning to the front. Wow, I completely misread that. That's on me. His desire to escape the horrors of war outweighed any sense of duty. During his stay, John's bond with Catherine grew. She was a constant in his life. Her light-hearted smile and quick wit, a welcome contrast to the grim reality around them. One evening, after weeks of quiet flirtation, John asked her to dinner. They strolled along the beaches of Honolulu, the moonlight casting soft shadows on the sand. The night ended in a hotel room where the lines between companionship and something deeper blurred. The next morning, John stared at himself in the mirror. His reflection was that of a man forged in battle, a body chiseled from years of combat, with piercing eyes that held the weight of 2 lives. They keep bringing that up, but we're not really doing anything with it. He now understood why Catherine had been drawn to him. There was something undeniable about the way he carried himself, a quiet confidence that came from surviving the Apollo. I love that he's just talking to himself up. He's like, "Yeah, I know why I bagged this bitch. Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I carry myself well." The next morning, John stared... no, we did that already. For the next month, they continued their rendezvous, their connection growing stronger. Catherine, ever the professional, maintained her duties, but whenever they found time together, the weight of the war lifted, if only for a few hours. Well, good things come to an end. One day, a lieutenant approached John with orders. "Sergeant Hardy, you've been cleared for active duty." John didn't hesitate. "I'm done with the war." Yeah, you could just tell him that. He saw no reason to risk his life again. With a future he couldn't fully comprehend and a body that healed unnaturally fast, he had bigger plans than returning to the battlefield. He played up his PTSD symptoms during his next psychiatric visit, and the doctor signed off on his discharge. He's like, "Yeah, I got PTSD. I'm done with this war." I'm like, "All right, here's some amphetamines, and you're good to go, bud." With a modest pension and accommodation for his service, John bid farewell to Catherine. She had become a part of his strange new life, but he knew they were headed down different paths. His next destination? Los Angeles, a city where opportunity and danger often walked hand in hand. As the ship sailed towards the mainland, John began to notice subtle differences in the world around him. Some details from his future memories clashed with reality. For instance, Harry S. Truman should have been president, yet an elderly man named Johnson held office. You're not going to give his full name? And there were the strange headlines. Vito Corleone celebrating his daughter's... What the fuck? Celebrating his daughter's wedding. Al Capone's legal battles. And Nucky Thompson facing charges. These were names from fiction. No, Al Capone was a real man. What? These were names from fiction, from stories he remembered. Yet here they were playing out... Oh, did anybody say anything about the fact that Al Capone was real? I think Nucky Thompson was real as well. I'm pretty sure he's based off a real guy. He just... I don't think he did exactly what happened in Boardwalk Empire. John's grip on this new world tightened. If stories and history were intertwined, then perhaps the future wasn't as set in stone as he wants to believe. All right, so he's having a dimensional merge problem. So because Chris Chan did what he did, everything is now colliding. Upon arriving in Los Angeles, John rented a small apartment in Orange County and found work as a bartender. He kept to a strict routine, waking early for morning runs and spending his afternoons at a local boxing gym, honing his body further. His rapid healing allowed him to push harder than most, and before long, he became one of the gym's top fighters. Did anybody say anything about Al Capone? Yeah, PTSD wasn't a diagnosis until the 1980s. Before that, it was referred to as shell shock, war neurosis, or soldier's heart. An AU universe could be the hand wavium solution, but it's fact for our universe. Oh my lord. All right, who did anyone say it? No one said anything about. I'm sorry, but I'm being very thrown off by this. Vito Corleone and Nucky Thompson were fictional, but why is Al Capone included with those? Al Capone was a very, very real crime boss. I can forgive the timeline discrepancies. It's clearly shown that there are some differences. Al Capone was imprisoned in the 1930s after his parole in 1939. He wasn't involved in crime, so there wouldn't be any headlines for his legal battles. Regardless, Al Capone is a very real person. How does this guy not know that Al Capone is real? I could swear, though, that Nucky Thompson is based off a real person. Hold on a second. Let's take a peek here. Maybe he's just... No, it says he's fictional. Oh, he's loosely based off of Enoch Johnson. Okay. So they just took the Nucky from it. Alright. But Al Capone, man... You're going to tell me Al Capone didn't... Al Capone is... I love... Al Capone is probably my favorite fictional character that ever existed. I love that guy. I can't read the rest of this. This is... Oh, my lord. The fact that you got Al Capone wrong. Did he respond to that? Did you respond to that? Oh, this is 9 hours ago. I guess that's it. There's not that many comments on this. It's trending though, man. Yeah, so Al Capone didn't exist. All right, what is this? Rise of Blood. I don't think I could keep going with these. Oh my lord, this one's a long one too. Luminous. Oh my lord. You like the structure of some of these, the way they're written out. That was a nice reading. All right, I think we need to move on to the main event here, and we need to move on to Warlord. What is it? Warlord Metal. The true book. It's a physical book. I don't have my camera on me right now. Otherwise, I'd grace you with a nice scene of me sitting in a chair reading to you in a low voice, lulling you to sleep. But I can sit here and read it. So hold on a second. Let's get this on here. This is the real deal here. Let me see. All right. So if you missed it in the beginning, I'm gonna read you. I'll give you the preface of this. So I had gone to a thrift store, and my wife and I have been looking for books. She's been looking for cookbooks, and I've been looking for older books or like hardcover or first editions of books that I like. And I haven't been having much luck, but she's been finding a whole bunch of old cookbooks that she's been using. She's made some pretty good stuff, man. Let me tell you. But I came across this book called Warlord Metal. It was just sitting there. The binding of it, I immediately thought, like, okay, this is like a self-published book. It looked like one of those Amazon books that you get bound for like a grand or something like that. But apparently this is a real book. This woman is a real author, and she's written other things, and apparently one of her books is popular, and she's a lesbian romance author, and I didn't know this at the time. I did not look through this book. I skimmed the back of it just so I could know what it's about, but I'll read the back for you so you have a little introduction here. So this is called Warlord Metal. D. Jordan Redhawk, author of the popular novel Teopa Ki Lakota, sets her sights on the world of rock music and warlord metal. The heavy metal band Warlord is in need of a new guitarist. Only one applicant stands out, a jewel in the very rough, Torrin Smith. She has the ability to make her guitar sing her soul, a sinister and shattered cry. Sonny Middlestead, the little sister to a member of the band, is making her way through high school and accelerated learning classes. Her days are filled with education, her nights with rock and roll. An aspiring journalist, she spends a good deal of her free time writing in her diary. The two meet, dark and light, anger and love, with both disastrous and remarkable potential. Will Torrin be swept away by her substance abuse, unable to release her fury or accept the brightness of another's heart? Can Sonny find a way to heal a broken childhood, to make up for a lifetime of injustice and hate? Only time will tell. So needless to say, I was very intrigued, and I had to check this out. This book is from 2001. This is copywritten in 2001, so this is an old one. I wonder what someone did. Maybe they're just like, fuck this, let's get rid of it. But the dedications are very sweet. I'll read them to you. To my wife, Anna Trinity Redhawk, all that I do, I give it to you. In loving memory of our daughter, Robin D. Burback, June 10th, 1979 to September 19th, 1994, may you find the peace you couldn't find in this life. To the Youth Shelter Outside Inn of Portland, Oregon, they work diligently to give food, shelter, and health care to kids on the streets, an almost insurmountable task. Many, many people need thanking, but foremost is Susan Malarkey. That's an unfortunate name. Who validated the mental health of a troubled teen. Her psychoanalysis of each chapter as it was posted online was quite helpful. Thanks to the people at Fortitude Press, they're some of the hardest working people in the industry. To coffee people on the corner of Park and Salmon, Portland, Oregon. Most of the story was written there during the winter of '98. Oh, my dog's freaking out upstairs. Velvet hammers kept me warm as I scribbled away. Thanks to all of you who read the original story online and wrote me. Oh, she wrote this online. It was a hard thing to read, let alone write, and your responses made slogging through the whole thing worth it. I am pleased to announce that a portion of the profits of this book will go to charity. That's very nice. Seems very, very sweet. Oh yeah, I'm here. It's Susan Malarkey. I'm only alive on Sundays though. That's the thing. It's like a moon spell. Most of the time you can't see me, but I peek out sometimes. All right, so let's see. What is going on up there? Oh no! I'm just like skimming through. There's lyrics in this that this person has written, but okay. I don't know. Hold on. I'm gonna check on my dog real quick. I'll be right back. Alrighty. I think she was just excited. It's all good. I am back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Stream is alive. Alright. So let's try... Let's see how far we could get into this. Let's see if it's funny at all. Like, that's what I'm looking for here. So far, other than the Full House fan fiction, it's been kind of duds all around, right? So let's see. Maybe Warlord Metal will be a pleasant surprise. You never know. It might be a literary masterpiece. Let's see. All right. So part 1, 15. I hear the flames of Armageddon roaring hungrily in the dark. Torrin C. Smith, Armageddon. Sonny's Journal, September 23rd, 1998. I had a dream about Mom and Dad last night. Tom and I were kids again, and we were out on a Sunday drive. The road was getting smaller and smaller and smaller until there wasn't enough room for the car. Rather than turn back, we got out of the car and continued. Pretty soon, we're walking on this teeny little ledge over a huge cliff, and then Mom lost her balance and fell. Dad tried to catch her and went too. I was so scared. I couldn't look down, just leaned back against the cliff behind me. I don't know what Tom was doing. Then I saw Mom and Dad again. They were floating in front of me. They had wings like those stupid cartoons, you know? They smiled at me and waved and then kept on going up. I woke up pretty scared. I almost got up to go check on them before I remembered that they were dead. Okay, so I watched some of the Christmas videos instead. Fell asleep on the couch. Weird, huh? Day after tomorrow is the audition. Tom said I could come and watch. It's too bad about Chris having to leave the band. He's a pretty good guitarist. Oh well, maybe they'll find an even better one. Oh yeah, we read fan fiction and hopefully this is not smut, but it might be. We never know. Might play some games too. We'll see what happens. But I wanted to see if this was worth it, you know. And I have to take all of you along for the journey. It's no fun reading it on your own. Okay. So can I take that women's lit class this winter? Sonny asked. Tom Middlestead steered the beat-up Honda through traffic. I don't know, Sonny, he began, only to be cut off. I can pay for it. That's no problem, the brunette insisted. I've still got money from babysitting last year. Since I'm a resident, the cost per credit is cheaper. The man grimaced and shook his head. Money's not the issue, sis. The trust fund will cover your education. Sonny's brow furrowed. Then what is it? Her brother shrugged. I just think you're pushing yourself too hard, that's all. You're barely a sophomore in high school, and you're already taking college-level classes. He stopped at an intersection and looked at her with eyes that were a darker shade of blue. I don't want to see you burn out. I don't want to see you succeed, sis. I don't want you to do better. It is because it was a women's lit class. Like, I don't know about that. Deflated, the teenager looked out the windshield. Green light, she muttered. Reluctantly, Middlestead returned his attention to the road and continued driving. He hated telling his little sister no to anything, much less a decent education. But damn it, when she isn't writing, she's reading. When she isn't reading, she's writing. That can't be a good thing. Watching her out of the corner of his eye, he could almost see the gears working. You might as well just say yes, he told himself. She'll talk you into it anyhow. Sighing, he drove on in silence. As they pulled into the parking lot, the girl spoke up. Hey, I didn't know Rita was going to be here. Middlestead parked the car and glanced at the woman in question. She must have come with Chris. I wanted him to look over the new meat. He shut off the ignition and unfastened his seatbelt. Cool, Sonny exclaimed, unbuckling her restraint. We can sit. I don't like that he referred to it as a restraint. It sounds like she's roped in. I know that she probably didn't want to use seatbelt again, but the restraint, like she's in a straitjacket in this car. We can sit at the bar and heckle you guys. She tossed an impish grin at her brother and bailed before he could grab her. Now wait a minute, the man growled, making that expected lunge. He grinned at his sister's giggle and waggled a warning finger at her. Did you mean wagged? Waggled. She slammed the door with a grin, jogging off to meet the pregnant woman at the bar entrance. Middlestead locked her door and exited the Honda, securing it behind him. Not that anybody'd want this hunk of junk. I don't know, man. It's a Honda. They could soup that shit up. A young blonde man, tall and thin with closely cropped hair, had joined Sonny and another girl. The pregnant red-headed girl he was wrapped around he was wrapped around was laughing as she ran her fingers through the stubble. How could you run your fingers through the stubble? That would hurt, man. What the hell happened to your hair, man? Milstead demanded, reaching out to grasp his friend's hand. He nodded a greeting at Rita. Grinning ruefully, the man scratched the buzz cut. Well, figured they were gonna cut it all off a couple weeks anyway, he shrugged. Might as well get used to the look. Yeah, well, we need our toilet cleaned at home. Can I use you? The dark man quipped. Damn, dude. Sunny swatted her brother on the arm. Stop that, turning to the couple. She continued with a smile. Never mind, mister, I have no fashion sense. You look great, Chris. Thanks, Sunny. I'm still kind of... It's jarring that this girl is named Sunny. That's just some... What is it short for? Sanandra? Okay. And I like it, Rita said, a warning eyebrow lifted at Middlestead. Why are we referring to this guy by his last name? Come on now. Raising his hand in surrender, Middlestead took a step backward. Far be it from me to insult a mother-to-be. Sunny brushed by her brother, rolling her eyes and pushing him with her shoulder as she passed. She opened the door to the bar, emitting a yelp as she entered. Pale blue eyes glared over her shoulder as she rubbed her rear. Payback's a bitch, Tom, she warned. You have to sleep sometime. Milstead looked innocently back until she entered the establishment. When her back was turned, he grinned and held the door for the couple. The bar was closed and quiet. A handful of people lounged near a small stage in the back. Most of the chairs were up on the tables, and an older man was sweeping the floor. He looked up when he heard the door, his face lighting. The broom was promptly set aside as he stepped forward, arms wide. Sonny, how are you? I'm great, Lamont. How's business? She gave the bar owner a hug. They let a little kid into a bar? How old is she? She was like 16, wasn't she? It's like, yeah, come on in. Not bad, he responded. These guys bring in some steady customers on the weekends, even if they don't know how to play, he concluded with a conspiratorial whisper and wink. I hear that, old man, Middlestead growled as he came in. Orlando and Max here yet? Lando? A Star Wars fan? Max here yet? Yeah. And a work-worn thumb shot backwards. They're dumping recycling from last night. You got some people waiting for you by the stage, too. He dismissed the men, attention falling on the pregnant woman. Rita, you're looking wonderful, taking the two females in tow. Lamont escorted them towards the bar. Can I get you beautiful ladies something to drink? Middlestead stared after the trio. With a sarcastic grin, he said, I'm fine, Lamont.